And good morning, folks, for it is I, the yin to the yang, the dragon render, the commentator, the wrestler, the LWD, and I'm not alone, I'm with
the one, the only, the God-forsaken Egyptian prodigy, the Pharaoh Adolfo, otherwise known as Nova Ranger and all that other stuff.
And welcome to the Meaningless Review Podcast, which we have not had an episode in a long time. You know, this guy's been busy. You know, he's been kind of going big on me, the outside of it.
Still waiting on next BDG episode.
the BDG episode. Funny, cute. Anyway, we're not here to talk about BDG. We actually have a list of topics that I've been forcibly organized to keep a minimum to, so I guess we should get into them for time's sake.
Look, I'm just trying to make sure that you don't go on a rant about yourself.
A rant about myself? Are you serious?
I'm joking.
I feel you, brother. I feel you.
But okay, the first topic that we have been considered talking about and that we're about to talk about is the feuds that need to happen in 2017 for CAW. You know, like the feuds that you need to see in CAW 2017.
Dang, I can see where you say not talk about myself. Like it would be here. Feuds. This is an interesting one, actually.
I mean, there are so many different variables you can think about. You can think about where is this feud going to take place? What's it going to be for? Like, why is it taking place? And stuff like that. That all contributes and that all adds to it. Because if there's like, I can choose two people, but if they're in two, but I can't choose them to have the same feud in two different companies because of the circumstance, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, I guess that's a pretty big thing to think about. But I do have a couple of them in mind right now. Like, I have a couple of ideas about them that I want to see happen.
Shoot, brother.
Okay. First one has to be your man. Yeah, this is the least likely feud to happen, but I want to see it happen, and I want it to be Case versus Big Bronson.
You want a big man versus big man feud? Go on.
I mean, the reason I say this is because there is like this history here of Big Bronson's big debut. His first big match in like CAW, like for the character, was against Sebastian Case. And this was when Case was on top of the world. He had the Heritage Championship. He had the BDG World Heavyweight Championship. He had everything. And so Bronson comes out, you know, and nobody knows him and stuff. And he's the first man to actually give Sebastian Case a challenge in New Age Risings. Like, he's the first man to do it, and he loses, and he's sent out on his own. He's sent out on his own. He has some faint success in another league, and then he gets screwed out of the title there. He comes back to New Age Horizons as Giovanni's bodyguard. And then he breaks out on his own, and he decides to change everything. And he attacks in the Iron Frontier match, and he utterly betrays Giovanni. And from there, you can see this rise where basically he's decided that instead of being manipulated, he's going to become the manipulator. And he got Victor Lazaro to help him become the WTW World Heavyweight Champion by manipulating the entire tournament and giving him the easiest way to win. Because there's like this, you can see like with Bronson's character, there's I have a lot of intrigue in it because there's a lot of vulnerabilities and strengths to it. He's obviously a big man. He's strong. But there's like this level of insecurity about him that makes it seem as if he doesn't really believe he can take everything on. And I feel as if a win against Sebastian Case, not just a feud, but an actual win, would make him seem completely legitimate, since Case is an all-time great. When you look at what he's done in his career, like, he is an all-time great.
I actually don't believe that,
what.
believe it or not.
You really don't believe
I don't believe that. I feel like he still needs at least one more. Because right now we have this streak. If he can, if someone can prove to me, most likely BDG, if you're listening. Oh wait, I am no. But seriousness, if somebody can prove to me that Case, outside of the streak, can still keep himself ultra relevant and make himself matter without having the streak and, you know, the championships and this force have a, you know, a resemblance to him, then I will put him in my all. Well, I don't know, my all-time great list. I don't know. You have to do a lot. I don't know. That's just me. And I consider Amir very high on that, just regardless, just to what Amir has done.
I mean, I guess we'll just have to agree to disagree there. But since, like, I went on my little rant about my big feud that I think I like, that immediately came to my mind when I saw this question. What about you? Have you had enough time to think about it? Think about what you want to see?
I don't know. It's hard on me as a league owner, because like you book these plans and like you know what's going to happen, so you don't want to spoil it like on the air or anything like that. But I don't know. Feuds that need to happen in 2017. The only feuds I think about, and not because I'm selfish, but like when I think about feuds, I'm looking for my next plans, because like I said, I usually know what's going on, you know, working with other shows and stuff. But if I have to answer this question, I feel we are in need of a Trey Jordan's Darren Dastardly feud. I feel like it's long overdue, personally. That's just me. I'm not gonna go on a tangent because it's about me, and I don't want to make this about me. But yeah.
All right. That's pretty fair. So, our next topic of choice is going to be what show has the most potential and what superstar has the most potential to break out in 2017.
Aiden Ollie had to say that immediately. Guy's phenomenal. I'm sorry.
I see your point, and like I honestly have a pretty big agreement there. Aiden Ollie is a fantastic guy, but I also wanted to go. I don't want to say the same person as you, so I'm going to go on the other side and pick Aiden Ollie's Kevin Owens and Juan Conrad. I see a lot in Juan Conrad. Like, I see that he has. I think that Aiden is going to be like, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I think Aiden's going to be another white meat babyface, and I think that he does it good. I think he's a really good white meat babyface, as opposed to a lot of other people who simply just can't pull it off. But I think Juan has a lot of, I think he has a bigger direction. I think he has some creativity to make him seem important and stand out. You know,
yeah.
Like I've been watching more of a show I'm gonna mention really soon. I've been watching more of that show, and he's been doing really well. And I've been liking how he's basically made himself with the amount of matches he had with Aiden Ollie, that him and Aiden kind of blew themselves onto the map. I guess with that feud, like they were already there, but I think that kind of elevated them in my mind. And talking about that, I'm gonna get to the show I think has the most potential, and I think that this also answers another question, because there's a show that's talking about there's the next question, if anyone's hasn't seen on Twitter, is that what show is the most underrated? And I think that the show that has the most potential and the show that's most underrated is WTW, and my reasoning is because out of all the shows that I've seen, the way they conducted their first pay-per-view was one of the best ways I've seen. Because here's the thing, here's the thing, when you have a show, and I've said this already on Twitter, I don't believe you should have a pay-per-view after the first 4 episodes unless that pay-per-view is the conclusion of a tournament like NAH and BDG, or that tournament is used to further storylines and develop characters like WTW with Big Bronson, and with the women's angle too. There was a lot of developing of characters instead of like just focusing on match quality. And that's the thing that I think a lot of shows are missing, is that you have to develop these characters so that I give a damn before you really get into the nitty gritty of those great matches, you know. Like, you can have those great matches and those can make or break certain people. But but I don't want people to be made and broken just based off of match quality. I want them to get some development. And I feel as if WTW did that with Big Bronson. They've done a pretty good job of that with Desmond Cruz. They gave Desmond a big win over Sean O'Reilly, of all people. And like, I feel as if they actually, the way they did their first pay-per-view, it reminded me, you know, of how basically, like, Bronson's booking kind of reminded me of Goldberg's, if I'm gonna be honest. Like, when he was in the main event scene and facing like a DDP, like, he has a short match. But and the other guy gets something in, but it's not meant for it to be a great match. It's meant for it to show how dominant he is.
I feel Matanza, honestly, which is what I said Bronson should be in. As salty as I can get about Victor Lazar being there, that's what I wanted, because I felt Bronson always needed a manager. How Matanza just kind of came in, and it was only like the last 6 minutes of like. What do they call Ultimate Lucha, right? Ultimate Lucha.
Wait, are you talking about the
Yeah, the actual gauntlet.
Oh, that's not Ultimate Lucha. That's Aztec Warfare.
It's not. I'm sure Aztec Warfare 2. Okay, when that happened, and he literally cleared out all those people in probably like 7, maybe 6 minutes. That's what I got
Rey
from
Mysterio.
That. I'm like, okay, they're going in the right. Yeah, exactly.
Beat the legend, Rey Mysterio.
That's what I got from that.
That's a big deal, and I feel as if like Bronson's not exactly the same as Matanza, because Bronson has like a lot of vulnerability with his character and stuff. But like I get that feel from him, and I feel as if WTW is doing a really good job of developing characters and being consistent, at least. You know, like, that's another thing. They're consistent, and I feel as if like. I've already said my piece about episodes and how I've come to basically despise them. Because if you're gonna have an episode on a show, I honestly think it has to be kept to a 30-minute limit, or else
I don't agree with
because
that.
I feel as if, like, if you, here's the thing, WTW is like an example of them proving me wrong, but almost every show seems like it can't handle those longer episodes on a really consistent basis. I mean, there's Valor, there's WTW, and then there's a lot of other shows that just don't seem to handle it that well. And I'm kind of getting tired of it.
The reason why I said that, and I don't want to cut you off, but everybody's going to move to this eventually. I already see it, and then we're all going to be doing this. We're all going to be doing this formula of like shorter episodes or whatever. And Heart of Wrestling already does it. And that's great. That was a vision we had, but I just feel like you still need a show that actually embeds themselves in episodes. I mean, and now I know what you mean, like, oh, like you got BDG, it's very slow or whatever, and New Age Horizons that gave episodes up all together because they're getting ready to end things off and stuff like that. But really, I mean, these episodes really do mean more in the sense of creating a character not only for the guy who's in the storyline, but maybe for a guy who's outside the storyline. I just feel like everybody kind of gets a piece of that. That was your most potential show. My most potential show was actually I took a dabble over into the Xbox side. Yes. You talk about consistency, and yes, I'm hoping for consistency with this show as they continue to work on their second episode. But UAW actually impressed me a lot. That's just me. I feel like the direction they were going and the purpose they kind of had for everybody. There was a lot of good promo segments on there, kind of trying to make everybody a little bit important and showing that the women's division is as equally as important to the men. I don't know. I just kind of like the direction they were going. And I thought it was a well put together episode to make me want to see more for episode 2. I'm like, okay, now I really want to see the build towards whatever so-on called pay-per-view. Yeah, essentially, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's all I got. I had another thought, but it slipped my mind. Heart of Wrestling, even though it's not out yet. That's my other potential show. I guess you can call me biased, but yeah.
No problem there. I think I'm gonna modify this next question here because I think I have a very interesting thing about it. So, third question. First of all, we already talked about, like, I already mentioned that it had to do with an underrated show, and I think I answered it there, but I think that's kind of similar to the potential show, so I think I'm gonna change it and say, who's the most underrated superstar at this current time, and who do you believe deserves to have a championship in 2017, and what type of championship?
That's a hard question.
I mean, I can go first.
I know you can. You probably have this down pat. Underrated superstar. I mean,
there are a lot.
There are a lot.
A lot.
I mean, you can name them. I probably might disagree, or maybe I don't know. We'll see. You name them. I have a yeah. Let's do that. On a tangent today.
I mean, I don't really want to go down a list, but like the biggest name I have that I feel is underrated. I don't know how, but I think it's because he had that one shining moment where he proved that he is like really comfortable in high positions, and yet nobody wants to put him there because of his character. And he doesn't really get talked about a lot in his for matches and stuff, and I don't know why. And I'd say it's Nacho, because I really think that if he was given an opportunity to do more matches, you know, and to have an actual interesting feud with somebody, in whatever show possible, then Nacho could be like, he could become really popular. That he could become a really interesting babyface, because he's like, he's annoying, and I feel as if he can become an annoying heel too, with like his character and how like almost everyone hates him. But I feel as if that like the fact that everyone is annoyed of him can be turned into an interesting story, and like how he has to basically earn everybody's respect in the ring because they don't like him as a person.
Okay. Yeah, I can see Nacho. I don't know if the community does not know this guy, but he's been on my mind like 24/7 whenever I see the word underrated. And that is Jay Williams.
Jay Williams.
Because this guy is freaking God. He's freaking God and nobody sees it. He's God. I say it right here. Jay Williams, I can confidently say Jay Williams craps on about 80% of this community with how good he is. At least to me, in my eyes, he's that good. But he doesn't, get that opportunity because,
the only real opportunity he's gotten is a match with Trey Jordans.
I have a match recorded that he's actually been begging me to release. I've just been lazy, but I have a match with him. I don't know when that's going up, but hey, it's there. There will be a match. Guy's good. Actually, I kind of want him in the Dojo Climax. That's how good he is.
Maybe spoilers?
Maybe spoilers? Oh, I don't know. You have to see. check out BDG's Resurrection because we're dead right now.
That was great.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on before we start to bury BDG even more.
Hold on. Hey, hold on. I noticed you took off some questions. You took off some questions here.
I took off a few on the Time Crush.
Oh, we're only 20 minutes in.
I mean, true, but
you don't want to hurt any feelings.
Fine.
You don't want to hurt.
Fine, do it. I already know the question you're gonna ask. Do it.
Devlin Denuse sent us the question: who's the most overrated superstar and the most over?
We are going to only answer the superstar one. I do not need the comment section to erupt in flames when I say, like, if I was to say most overrated show. No. Okay, let's think about this. Okay. Fuck. I have... Oh, God. No, you're going first. You prompted the question.
Oh, overrated superstar. I have a selection. Darren Dashley's at the number 1, by the way. But let's see, who's number 2? Overrated. Okay. This is gonna sound a little weird, right? But I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm gonna say Scarlet. And not in a rude way. Obviously, we don't mean to be rude in this question, but Scarlet knows. I always talk to him. I talk to him about his matches and his match work, and I just feel like he's shown that signs of greatness, of smoothing down. But I feel like he said, like, perfect example, if you ever watched the last 3 minutes to Austin Cruz versus Christopher Scarlett, it's golden. It's literally, if I could rate it 5 stars, I would rate it 5 stars. Just the 3 minutes. And that's you know, the pacing, that aggression, that's what I'm looking for Scarlett. But I mean, he doesn't see that. And he's really into that, you know, he mixes in a little bit of high flying in there into his style. And I feel that really takes away from his heelish character or his heelish vibes. Because I feel like the more aggressive he was, that Samoa Joe style that he says he's getting away from, really made him him. In the Phoenix match, I mean, it was good. I just knew it could have been better, if you know what I mean. Like,
there are a lot of things about that. Like, I just think that it's weird because I didn't think there was like a face or heel in that match.
I just feel like he could have been better in that regard. Yeah, an aggressive heel at that one. I mean, I don't know. I just like the aggressiveness. And I feel he's there, but he keeps, you know, he mixes around. And if he can finally just, like, you know, settle that, that'd be awesome. Then again, on a side note, if you're just having fun, bro, like I tell everybody, because I take the game way too serious. So, you know, if you're just having fun, then have fun, then, you know. But I mean, that's who my pick, and I care a lot about Scarlett. I know Scarlett can be something if he, you know, applies himself to just that, and those reasons. I don't know, but who you got?
Okay. Fine. You don't see it, but I have I have like the palms of my fingers placed on the top of my skull in utter annoyance because I realized that what I'm gonna say, like along with your comment, we may be starting a war on Xbox right now.
Oh, I considered Scarlett on PS4 right now, honestly.
Oh.
I mean, he's been doing a lot on PS4 as of recent. I know he's going back to Xbox pretty soon, but I like the people on Xbox,
yes.
honestly.
I do too, and I actually want to like one day do a podcast like just straight up talking about like the Xbox side and who to check out, and to get people who only watch PS4 to just give some of them a chance, you know, because Xbox is really good. Like there are times where they are really, really good and like just outbeating PS4 at times. But the person I'm gonna say, like I have a long.
I think I feel it.
You can say afterwards if you got it, but like the person I'm gonna say, like I had a long just journey as a fan of him, watching his matches, and then I realized like I don't know why, but something about it felt wrong eventually about him, and I guess it's time to get it out of the air now. Malachi.
I knew it. I knew you were gonna go there. I can see why you say that though.
Malachi is my most overrated guy, and I'm not going to. And I'm just gonna. I'm gonna say my reasoning. And you can hate on me all you want, but I loved Malachi. Like I was the highest motherfucker on Malachi on the damn planet. Period. Everybody can attest to this. Darren can really attest to this. When I saw him on 2K14, I said, like, Malachi is, like, one of the best. And I was so high on him. I was so high on what he would do with this newer game. And, like, the newer gameplay. And the fact that simulation was evolving into something greater.
Yeah.
I was so happy about it. And then he got onto 2K16. And something fundamentally changed about his playstyle. And it was always there. I think it was always there with Malachi. But his entire character was built around being the underdog. And like he has a pretty good charisma as the underdog, I think. I think that he plays that role exceptionally well. Like he is at his best when he is playing his Sami Zayn role of getting his ass kicked.
Yeah.
And then eventually he stopped letting himself get his ass kicked. And that's when the magic slowly died. And you can see it. Like my favorite Malachi matches. And like there are some examples where Malachi has a good deal of offense, and I still think it's a great match. But my favorite Malachi matches are when he gets his ass kicked. Those are my favorites, because he's so good at that. But when he tries to go in this 50-50 style that he's been going on for a very long time, where he's even with his opponent, it simply doesn't translate well to me. He doesn't translate his style to that 50-50 like style well. And it makes the match just of a lower quality than if he was to get his ass kicked the entire way and make the big comeback. And I've always talked about, like, I've always thought that variety is a key to a great person. And, like, not to just a great person, but, like, a great performer, like, in real life and in CAW. Variety is essential, because you can be a really good CAW performer because you work a certain style and you are the best at that style. But if you cannot work outside that style, slowly the cracks will show, and you go from really good to just good, and you can't ascend to that level of great in my eyes.
Oh.
And Malachi tried to venture to that level of great by, like, showing that he can play on this 50-50 style, and I don't think he really does it as well as he does, like, his underdog style. And that's fine. Like, you can have this one style that you are perfect at, but I feel as if you still need to be able to do every other, like, not every other style, but a majority of other styles. And, you know, I even criticize, like, there was this, like, on Twitter the other day, I criticized Virtue, mainly because, well, as of late, I haven't really been seeing, like, a lot of that variety from him.
Yeah.
You know? And he talked back to me, and he told me, you can go check out these other matches on my channel from beforehand, where I can show you that I have the capability to do that variety, I just don't want to now. And you know what? I acknowledge that. I acknowledge that I was wrong, and I was misinformed because I didn't check out these other matches. I've been checking some of them out, and he can work those other styles. He can work them really well. And so, he proved me wrong there. And I understand why Malachi went outside of that comfort zone. I understand it. And I kind of even agree with it. But I don't think he understands how to do that role right. Because when he tries to go 50-50, he really goes 70-30. He takes 70% of the match and the other guy gets 30. And when he's the underdog, that devalues the other person immensely. And it goes from a great match that has a great start, and then it just slowly deteriorates. And like the match gets worse with time, that's another thing. But that is my reasoning on why I think that Malachi, at this point in time, is probably the most overrated, because he is also considered one of the best on the Xbox, and I do think he's really good. I think he is really good on Xbox. I think that he deserves some opportunities, but I feel as if he's not great, and I feel as if he's trying to do this other style way too much, instead of really just focusing on the style that works for him and branching out later on. So that is my choice for most overrated. It is Malachi. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on, just a bit. All right then. So it's time to move on to our final topic, and I think this is gonna be more of a general notes, and it's also gonna be. I think this will also have a bit of controversy in it, and that's what are our noteworthy matches of 2017 right now.
Noteworthy of 2017?
Yep.
Oh boy. Okay.
Okay, let's already get it out of the way. I'm just gonna get it out of the way so we can move on to other stuff. First match is Darren versus Mazzara. Yeah, nobody saw that coming. Nobody saw that Darren Dastardly would top the charts immediately on 2017.
Yeah, usually wait like 6 months. I didn't see it myself, yeah. But it happened. Yeah.
So, that's that. And I think if anybody who hasn't seen the match is wondering why it was immediately said, you need to go search up Declaration Night 2. It's the main event. It's, 20 to 30 minutes long?
Yeah, it's actually 30. It's first 30-minute match.
It is 30 minutes long. It is, in one word, death. And it is glorious, and that's coming from somebody who normally doesn't like death. It is glorious, and I'm not sure that anyone's gonna top that other than Darren himself. So, yeah, that's the first noteworthy match of 2017. I think it's quite obvious. But the second one, I think that this one is a little less obvious. I think it's pretty interesting.
I know this is, or can't speak. I know what
it is. The match that should have been the main event of Night 2 of CTO Redemption.
Oh, you and this Night 2 stuff.
I'm going to talk about. Yeah, I'm going to talk about this in a little bit. I'm going to be quick about it. It's Camilo Dior versus Vixen.
Great match. Phenomenal match.
I was wondering. I forgot the match type. They had a great name for the match type.
Yeah, I just
essentially
dungeon match, but you can
yeah.
see it.
Essentially, to describe the match type, it is basically Camilla Dior had these groups of slaves. She had 4 of them. And the match type is held inside an elimination chamber. And it's basically 5-on-1 with Camilla Dior versus Vixen. And these two had a match previously. They had a bloody match previously. And basically, this is the blow off to their rivalry. And in the first, 3 to 5 minutes, is literally them beating the shit out of these slaves so that it can just be them one-on-one inside an elimination chamber. I'm pretty sure this is the first one-on-one inside an elimination chamber ever.
Yep.
And it was fucking glorious. It was everything that it needed to be. I put it... I don't mean to offend you, Darren, but I put it on par with Darren versus Mizera, because it is death as well.
I feel you.
It is brilliant. It's one of the reasons why I've basically been of the opinion that the woman that it's the woman, it's the PS4 side, and then it's Xbox. Xbox, the Xbox males, are at the bottom of right now. They're still doing really good, and I'll talk about a few matches of theirs involving a certain somebody, a certain workhorse that you know very well. But the women are just on top of their game. They have been pumping out match after match after great match, and they have been doing it in such spectacular fashion when, the community has seemed so, I guess you could say, barren right now.
I said complacent. You know me. I feel like
yeah,
just
complacent.
Settled right now.
I think there needs to be a bit of a shift. To be fair, I don't think anything can really recapture the magic that was 2016. For CAW.
Yeah, true. I will say this though. Speaking on that match was great. Especially coming off of what you said, the Diva Slam match. And they did everything they needed to do. They took everything from that match and the important. Made it better. Yeah, made it better. Exactly. I was really proud of them. What was I gonna say? I had something I was gonna say. Oh wow, now I look like an idiot. Okay, well I'll just let Nova take it.
Alright. This may be where we divulge a bit, because we already agreed to those first 2 matches, and then there's a big follow through on a lot of different matches. But since we talked about the PS4 males and gave the top matches from the PS4 males and the woman in general, I want to talk about the top match I think from the Xbox males, and that is Sean O'Reilly versus Eric Rivera versus Kid Gucci from CTO Double or Nothing.
I like that match. I do. I've actually been thinking more so. I mean, I still have it as my number 1. Obviously, I've been thinking about the rating. I guess now, just as of now, but yeah.
I mean, I think it's a great match, and I think that there are a lot of intricate stories there, because basically, if you're not aware of CTO is basically the Xbox show. It's the Xbox show. That's where everything that's important to the history of the Xbox brand, I guess you could say. Everything important happens in CTO. Other than Christopher Scarlett's undefeated streak, because that is actually important, even though I'm not a fan of it. But other than that, everything important happens really in CTO. And Sean O'Reilly is the face of CTO. He's also the man that had Match of the Year of 2016 with Darren Dastardly at Heatwave. He came over to the PS4 side and got the Match of the Year straight off the bat. That's an example of how big of a leader and how good Sean O'Reilly is. And Sean O'Reilly's facing up against Eric Rivera, who I think is comparable as the Shawn Michaels-like figure of Xbox, when you say.
Yeah.
Like, in terms of how beloved he is by the internet, and how he is the workhorse guy. And then they're joined by Kid Gucci, and I think that he is the guy who had something to prove. Because Kid Gucci's never been the top worker on Xbox. Never. He hasn't been the top worker on Xbox. This was his return match to Xbox in a long ass time. And in this match, I felt he held his own. He didn't match them at all. He didn't match Sean or Rivera. But when he was involved in the match, he held his own.
Yeah. I thought he was solid. Like, he was solid because, you know, like Eric and Sean, they're obviously they're fantastic workers. But I feel like Kid Gucci knew he had to step up when he's in the ring with, you know, Eric Rivera and Sean O'Reilly. I mean, these are, you know, like you said, top guys on the Xbox side, you know. But Kid Gucci, like you said, he held his own. He made himself, you know, he at least knew that he had to make himself, you know, present in the time being. And yeah, I thought it flowed really well, actually. I mean, yeah, I like the triple threat. Hopefully we can get more.
I really want to see, like, going forward, because if you don't know, CTO had this. They've done a draft, and they have two different brands. They have Voltage, and then they have, I believe it's Corruption.
Yep.
And basically, on Voltage, you have Eric Rivera and you have Kid Gucci. And they were working together to beat Sean because they were basically told, take the title to Voltage, because Sean's on Corruption. And in this match, Eric Rivera kind of went out for himself because he is so desperate to have that world title. He went out on his own. And I need to see an Eric Rivera face turn so he can face Kid Gucci. Because they are both on Voltage. They are, in my mind, without a shadow of the doubt, the top names on Voltage. Easy. They're both, like... I think that Kid Gucci has shown that he can handle being in the ring with Eric Rivera. He won't match him, but I think he'll handle it. And I think that is going to be a great match. If they can, like, make a good enough feud off of it. Because they have the setup for it in this match with Eric betraying Voltage, and they can basically have him be punished or something.
Mm-hmm. I feel you.
So, I want to see that match. I guess that would be another feud that I believe should happen. I don't think it needs to, but it's almost there to the point where I really think it just makes sense for the feud to happen.
Yeah, I definitely, yeah. Any more noteworthy matches you want to speak of? I have one on my mind, actually. Actually, I have two.
There are a few that I want to talk about, mainly for, like, what they mean for the future. I mean, you were talking about how Jay Williams is heavily underrated.
Oh, yes, I was hoping you talked about this. Yeah.
So, like, I want to talk about Trey Jordan's versus Jay Williams on Trey Jordan's channel. And if you don't know what Trey Jordan's channel is, just type in LG_Matic. That's 2 T's, by the way. And look at this match and look at how great it is, because it is an example of how you can show off how two characters are similar yet entirely different and have a great match while doing it.
So good. So good.
I mean, I honestly think if it wasn't for you, this would easily be PS4 Match of the Year right now.
Yeah, Trey came out with that, you know, his fire that he usually brings out at the gates. This was great. I love Jay Williams. I'm sorry. There's like an obsession. I'm sorry, Jay, if you're listening to this. Yeah, I sound very weird, but you're great, man. And we all know Trey is solid. We already know. This match is great. Honestly, yeah. I would show this to anybody. I would show this to anybody and be like, hey, if you're trying to ease your way into sim or simulation, this is the match. This is the match where you have a clear, definitive, like, heel, face, and it's just an exhibition match. Just straight exhibition. And you have your clear heel, you have your clear face, and they do things that you literally can learn off of and kind of, base yourself on. Where you're
I straight up have to say, the ending is the best ending on this game this year.
Yes.
In my mind, easy. It is the best ending of this game this year. And like there are a bunch of other endings that are more excruciating, more painful. But this was the most simple, basic, yet perfect storytelling ending I've seen on this game. I'm not gonna spoil it, but it started from the beginning of the match to the end. At the very beginning, this ending was teased, and it happened.
I was
just that I came out of this match.
You got to get a match with that guy, man, because that ending, or he did another variation of it with me, and I was just blown away. That guy, I'm telling you, honestly, he's number one. He's not like I wouldn't put me or Trey at number one. I literally have Jay Williams at number one.
Some high praise there.
But there's that match. The other match I was thinking about was the Katya and Rachel.
Yeah, the match from their Now Woman's Classic match in the main event.
Yes,
that was great. That's the third match they have done.
They're getting ready to do a fourth pretty soon.
They can fight forever for all I care.
Yeah, they're going all out this year, basically. It's the second match this year, third match overall, and they're getting ready to fight at Diva Mania again. And I think they're planning one more big match. One more. Well, it was announced they were having a 30-minute Iron Man match, but I think they're moving that to something different.
I'm interested in whatever they do. I love Rachel. I love Katya. I think they're both great. I think they both have excelled at this game in every area you need to excel at to be great. Yeah. And I believe wholeheartedly that whatever they do, they're money. Like, they are attractions. If you are a person who wants to watch just good women's wrestling, the names I'd suggest to you are Rachel, Katya, Vixen, and Camilla. Those are the names I suggest to you.
Side note, I'm gonna throw in Morgan Rivera. Because I have a love for her. But
I just believe she needs to get that match this year.
She does.
When she does, she's gonna blow everything out of the water. I can see it. But I think there are a couple matches that I want to talk about. And it's not that they're necessarily the best, but I think that they have some implications on the future. The first one is that I want to talk about Desmond versus Sean O'Reilly at WTW Ice Age, because Desmond was another name that came up for me when I thought of underrated. I thought of him too, because Desmond is really good when you actually give him something to do. And they gave him Sean O'Reilly, and they said, hey, you guys can just go out there and kill each other in the hardcore match. And they did. And it was the match of the night on Ice Age, because Ice Age was more focused. This is another thing I liked about it. Ice Age was more focused on the storytelling. For those of you who don't know, Ice Age is WTW's first pay-per-view. But it was more focused on the storytelling. And basically, Desmond, as the hardcore champion, was put into the workhorse position. And he did very well, in my opinion.
Yeah, I thought Desmond did great. Now, if you've seen, I will say this, his earlier WCW days with the hardcore, I wasn't a fan of. I wasn't a fan of his defenses. But I knew it was going somewhere. Sean, being, the leader that he was, allowed Desmond for that chance. And they worked a damn good match. They worked a really solid match. Yeah, this was great. This is all around great. If we can give Desmond more, because nobody knows how to book Desmond. When he was in New Age Horizons, I didn't think he was booked properly there. That's just my opinion. But WTW's doing great. I need Desmond to just continue on this head of steam. But that was good. That was good.
Another person that got a match against Sean O'Reilly and is getting a bit of a character change is our boy Yukita. Yukita is getting a character change. I'm conflicted because face Yukita is great, but I do see the potential in heel Yukita. Like, I don't think it's gonna be great. It is as great as face Yukita, but when I do think that it has the potential to be something very interesting. And with Sean O'Reilly's recent predicament, I'm not gonna say what it is. I don't want to really spoil it, but he had something recently happen to him, and it's kind of changed him. It's kind of given him the opportunity to really develop his character. And there are so many people who have basically slowly but surely decided that they're gonna break Sean. You were one of them. And then after losing to Sean in this match at Arcadia, and it was a really good match, by the way, they decided that they were going to continue this, and Yukita is going to try and fully break Sean as well. And I think that Yukita turning heel was a move that didn't necessarily need to happen, but I understand why. Because he wants that attention, and a turn can do him some good, you know, in terms of getting noticed by other people. Because you're always... the two roles that I see you having the most freedom of, whenever you're in a show, the two roles that you... Actually, the three roles you have the most freedom. The first role is being the opener. Like, you're consistently in the opening spot of the show, because that means that you're the first person that people see, which gives you all the freedom to make an incredible impression. The opener is only second to the main event. That's the only position better than the opener. And the second position is being the mid-card champion. You and me agree, being mid-card champ, overall, kind of better than being world champ.
I'm still waiting for that one world title to mean to be as important as, the mid card. I don't know, I just felt like I haven't seen that yet. There's been edges of greatness of that, but I haven't seen that yet. It's always the mid card, obviously. But yeah.
Because
that's what I believe in.
Here's the thing, about the main event scene. In my eyes, whenever the show owners are thinking about who they're gonna put in the main event scene, it always seems as if they have this idea of the first champion they want, and they're gonna build a story off of it. And at times, that champion up and leaves. A lot. It happens a lot. And that puts the title into complete disarray, which gives the opportunity to the mid-card belt to mean something. It happens in CCE, where the first champion, who I believe was Shannon Silvera, he left, and basically because of that, Brandon Young and Zayden Morgan's feud became the thing in CCE. In New Age Horizons, IB Wright left. Payton left too, which meant they had to get the title onto IB Wright. There is that one match that we never discuss. Never discuss. And then IB Wright left. And then Case became the mid-card champ, and he was defending the belt every goddamn week. Yeah. He was the belt, he was the show. He made the mid-card belt into something special, and he faced Joey Legend for the belt. He had a title versus career match for the belt. Heritage title is where it is, honestly. And the mid-card gives you this freedom, because you get the opportunity to surpass the main event. You are the underdog, and being the underdog gives you a lot of freedom, because creatively, the main champion is a bit hamstrung on who they have the option of facing. You know, you don't really see a lot of main champion, basically open challenges, for example. You know, that type of stuff. I think that WTW is the first show in a while that's really actually like, because they've really actually have their champion doing some open challenge stuff, and I think that actually, like, Bronson as a first champion, and the way they made him first champion was so important that I actually think that the title, it means a lot more than you would think a title would just after the first pay-per-view, in my eyes. You know, even if it doesn't have like the best matches, but even then, I'd say Desmond still is the best champion, because he is the hardcore champ who's been constantly defending the belt and had that big match where he beat Sean O'Reilly of all people.
Yes.
So it's always that the mid-card, because the leaders want to book the mid-card belt strong, because you have to have a strong mid-card. Being the mid-card champ is the best opportunity for you. Honestly, like, if you're a new guy and you want to be put in a league, you should be rooting to get the mid-card belt and not the world belt. You should be rooting for that, because when you're the world belt, they have a clear image of what they want you to do, and at times that image can be great, but most of the time it has this long developing storyline, you know, with that world championship. The mid-card belts, you can do a bit more, where you can have more short feuds, and those short feuds give you more room to move around in. And so those are always like the best opportunities to show yourself. And then the third best opportunity to really get noticed is to be heel. I just think that being heel is easier to get you noticed than being face.
We have a lot of... Look, okay, I'll say this.
Mainly because, well, I mean, if they were really good faces who were unique, they would get noticed. But it's always the same bland meat baby face. Everyone wants to do it. Everyone wants to do it. Not everyone can do it. Not everyone is a mirror. Okay? Not everyone is a mirror. And even Amir was like so white meat babyface that he became known as Super Cena Amir, even when he went on one of the biggest losing streaks in 2015. He had to get his ass kicked so many times for people to stop connecting him as a John Cena. That's like,
it was perfect.
Yeah,
that actually kind of reminds me of Sean O'Reilly in a way. I feel like Sean's going down that same Amir path that Amir went down in 2015. Like, he's just now entering it.
I mean, I think that's one of the best things that actually happened in 2015. Like, the story of Amir completely and utterly losing. Like, just losing so much. I think that was actually important. But, you know, it gets really ignored all the time, and he's still called Super Amir because he wins a lot. And being a white meat babyface is so dangerous if you can't do it right. And even if you do it right, there's still the chance that the fans will just turn on you, and that the fans will just not like you. Even if you do your job perfectly, if everyone's doing the same job as you, you're not gonna get that much notice. And there aren't that many really creative faces out there that have this interesting gimmick. That's more in the heel category, I feel.
I feel that. I feel the heel category has its tiers, though, over the course of years. Like, we have
generic heel.
Well, like, yeah, I know there's the generic heel, and, you know, I feel like the heel categories, the heels are so important. Because, like you said, there's so many faces nowadays, that bland baby faces, that the heels have to portray the story that's
they have to have a lot
to
of
the
personality.
character. Exactly, they got to have personality. And we live in a world where, you know, people, I'm not saying people don't want to express it, but I don't know, just on the PS4 side, heels, there's only a couple of heels that go out to express their personality that just makes them stand out.
I mean,
that's just me.
I guess, like, if you could name a few,
Oh,
I mean, there's you.
yeah,
I think you express
Born.
it. Born.
Born has Lazara though. That's what makes it. That's why Bronson's gonna be good.
Bro, I think that Bronson, like, yeah, Bronson is on his way.
He's not there yet, but
on
he's
his way.
right there. He is right. Yeah.
There was
he's on the
Ventor.
way.
Good God, Ventor.
Let me tell you something. Now you're about to let me. Okay, I'm not gonna go on long. I'm just gonna say this. I don't care what anybody said. I had an unpopular opinion that I'm pretty sure everybody ignored. But Damon Ventor was top 5 character last year, in my opinion. That's just me. That's just me. This man is BDG. If you want to talk about what is BDG, he's BDG. He's the reason why BDG is BDG. That's all I gotta say on it.
There's just, like, I mean, there are so many different guys and stuff, and there's these really creative characters out there. I'm almost positive, but like a lot of them haven't had the opportunity, or they haven't been in that really one big match where they showed all of that personality. You know, like,
yeah.
They need a bit more exposure. I think these heels need a bit more exposure as
there
well.
we go.
I also think that a lot, because I think there's this really undervalued, you know, skill, I think, in simulation, and that is exposure. And I think that the fact that you can record your own matches means you have no excuse to not be able to really develop your character. You can develop your character simply through matches and cutscenes that you can record yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
You can even record promos. That's a bit harder. I'll give it that. That is a bit harder because you have to match the promo to the actual cutscene or whatever. But you can just put a bunch of matches on your channel, and maybe and it can grow over time. And even if it doesn't grow to being that big, you still have certain people that watch, and you can show this to a person in a league. And if you have a match of evidence on you to show them, they will have more faith that you can develop yourself and become something more. That's the thing I think a lot of people are missing, because they just want to be in leagues because they believe, okay, I have to be in a league to develop myself. You can develop yourself before a league. That is the reason why PS Share is so important, and that's the reason why everyone and their grandmothers should be using Share Factory, since you don't need a computer to edit your matches.
Very passionate about that, aren't you?
I am. I just like it's kind of baffling how little people really take use of it. I mean, just look at Trey. Look at what Trey did. Look at what Frisco on his channel did for everybody else. You know, events are really important because events are other people using their time to expose and give exposure to other people. And Frisco helped you. He put you on the map and gave you the chance to show everybody what you can do.
Not only me, he did me and Trey, honestly.
Yeah, and and then Trey took it on himself. You both took it on yourselves to make your own channels and to expose yourself more. I mean, does it really have to? Is it really that surprising when the guy who's basically the godfather of Sim, Nick Virtue, everybody calls him the father of simulation? He did it by doing matches on his channel, unedited, and putting them on YouTube. He did not even have commentary. You don't need all of that other stuff. You can just do a bunch of exhibition matches and put them on the channel, and then you can develop your character and show your character.
This is true. I'm going to add one more thing to end off this segment because we just reached an hour. You might not want to do this. It was one of the questions asked. I don't know. I just find it. It was somebody actually had Rev said power ranking.
Kayfabe or non-kayfabe?
Ooh, damn, that's a good question.
I mean,
he said
we just
power ranking based off of ability, depending on what ability is.
That would probably be non-kayfabe, because ability would represent like actual wrestling. You know.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we can do that. I kind of want to more or less do actual kayfabe, because that's kind of interesting. But I think that at this point in time, ability makes a lot of sense with what the theme of this podcast has been. So, top 10. Do you want to do that? You want to try and start?
Top 10. Are we just gonna do all around, just Xbox and PS4?
All
together?
around.
Okay. All right. Non-kayfabe. Whew. Well, you already know I have Jay Williams at 1, but that's just me. I have Jay Williams at 1. I don't know if I can say me.
I mean, I don't think it's realistic if you don't say you.
Okay, well, I'll put me at 2. I'll put Trey at 3.
Sean at 4.
No. I have Amir at 4, then Sean.
Would this be? Are you saying in general, or are you saying this year?
In general.
Okay, in general. Because I was gonna say, like, I'm going to be doing mine. Okay,
Based off of this.
I'll do it in general. Because if I do it in general, that makes more sense.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I have Sean at 5. At 6, I'd probably put Price. Yeah, 6, I put Price. 7. This is where it gets tough. Do I go with Case or do it now or later? I'm gonna go ahead and put Case. 8. I have Yukito on there, believe it or not. I do have Yukito on there, and a lot of people may not agree with that, but I personally do. I have Yukito on there. At number 9,
Vixen?
I don't have Vixen. I would actually have Katia is on this list, believe it or not.
Okay. I was about to wonder.
Yeah, Katia is on this list. I'm trying to see if she's 9 or 10. Thinking, I'm putting Katia at 9. Let's see. Thinking. Yeah, okay, yeah. I'll put dang. Yeah, I'm stuck on 10.
Okay.
I'm stuck on 10.
Well, while you settle your 10, I'll go down mine. So mine is gonna be all round, which includes outside ring. So Darren's number 1.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
You don't have a clear number 2. Oh.
Trey is number 2.
Oh, okay.
Joshua Fiend X is 3 because Joshua Phoenix and X combined is number 3. Because both, like, the sum of their work is number 3.
I feel you, brother.
Who next? I would put Sean at number 4. I think that Sean Sean really deserves that top position. In like the top 5 category, easy. Question of who's next? I would put that on. Yes, I guess. Yeah, I put that on Case, number 5. After Case would be Vorn with Lazara.
Oh wow, wow.
That's sick.
You kind of shocked me there, honestly.
I mean,
but I understand. I just feel like he need more body of work.
Yeah.
Like the big project. But yeah, I understand though. Definitely.
Then 7 is. Oh shit! I forgot. Okay. Step down. Born goes to 7. Amir is 6. Amir is 6. Yeah, Amir 6. That has to happen. Okay.
Who's 8?
Okay. Who is indeed 8? Let me see. What did we have last year that would signify a number 8? Who put in? Oh, Okay. Strictly because of his character, like he had a great match. But because of his character, I would put Ventor.
Oh, that actually might be my number 10.
Yeah, because of his character, I would put Ventor.
It's fantastic.
I would put Yukita at number 9. Who else? I mean, it's a tough choice because I think he hasn't been as present as of late, you know, and I feel as if he kind of decided to take a back seat to everybody else.
I don't know who you're talking about. Are you talking about Eric?
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Wow, I'm good. I'm really good. I thought about Eric too. He does take a backseat, but when he performs, man, he performs well.
When he performs, I honestly think he's one of the top, like, ever, all around, like, just period, because he is best promo, like, of all time. Easy. I don't think anyone really does enough to touch him, because the promos he has is legendary. Even now, like he doesn't even talk as much now, but whenever he does, he just fucking lights up the world. So I put him at a draw with. No, I put him at 10. If I had a number below that, it would probably be Joey Turn.
Oh wow, Joey.
I put him at 11, but Eric would be 10. So that would be my list.
My revised list, because obviously I can't put Jay, even though I want to, but he's only had one match over the past 3 years.
I mean, that's pretty good, yeah.
So just I kind of scoot everybody up, so it'd be Darren, Trey. Oh, what did I have? I had Amir, Sean, Phoenix, Case, Yukita, Rachel would be 8. What happened 9? Wait, no. Rachel's. Oh, I said Rachel.
Have you forgotten Sean?
Katia. Yeah, I'm tripping. Okay. So Darren, I said Darren, Trey, Amir, Sean.
That was where you put him, and
Price
then you put
was
Phoenix.
next.
Yeah.
Yeah, Price. Case. I think I forgot. Yeah, Case. Then I had Yukita. I had Katia at 8. So 9 would be. I just gotta throw Ventor in there. I just have a lot of respect for the dude. In 10. 10. Eric. Do I want to say Eric? I have to think. Yeah, I think I'm going with Eric. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
so
my top
those would be our top 10 power rankings based off of overall ability in CAW right now. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is the end of our first real podcast. I mean, we've been doing a bunch of reviews and stuff, but this is our first real podcast, and we hope to do many more, and talk about different subjects and really go more in depth, because this was a more general thing about like CAW right now and about different shows and stuff. But on the next edition, we're going to be going really in depth into specific subjects in CAW and discussing them. And we hope you enjoy.
Alright, see y'all. Goodbye! Mwah! And good night.